My name is Michael Levin, and my company is Business Ghost. I'm asking for $200,000 in exchange for 10% of the company. I'm a writer. In fact, I've done more than 100 books. My work has been made into TV shows and movies and has appeared on the New York Times bestseller list. But chances are you've never heard of me. That's because I'm a ghostwriter. I help people tell their stories from behind the scenes. My clients include some of the top CEOs in America, major sports figures, top broadcasters and celebrities. Just about everybody has a dream of becoming a published author. At Business Ghost, we make that dream come true. Here's how it works. You come to us with a need for a story. Our team will organize it, write it, design it, publish it, and market it. One-stop shopping. I can see Business Ghost becoming the leading provider of ghostwritten books in the United States. But I can only make that happen with your expertise and your capital. Who's interested?
So before they get in any questions, okay. I have friends, quite a few friends actually, that are ghostwriters that write books and scripts and all kinds of things for different people. It's a great opportunity for somebody who's really good at writing, but maybe doesn't want to be in the limelight and doesn't necessarily, they have a great writing background, but they don't necessarily have a great story that they want to tell or something like that, or they've already told all their stories and they're going to bring it to market. So I think bringing all of that into a singular opportunity for business owners, sports figures, etc., to be able to just get the book, get it written, get the book out of your head, get it written, edited, and then have a marketing team to stand behind it to help you market it without having to think too much about okay, how do I market this thing? And then it ends up being a book that just, you have tons of them sitting, in your garage or whatever. And, you ultimately never sell them. So this sounds like a really high-end kind of product and not a fly-by-night kind of thing where, okay, you pay this person $20,000 and they write your book, and then it's on to you to figure out, how you're going to put it in people's hands when realistically a lot of people don't necessarily have the outlet for it. Speaking of outlet, I have an outlet for Sales Won't Save Your Business. You can get it over at Amazon.com. I think it's, superjoepardo.com/sales won't -Amazon, or go over to shopsuperjoe.com and pick up your signed copy shipped right to you from me today. So I love this idea. And stay tuned because we're gonna check out to see if Michael's still in it, and doing how he's doing with it. So make sure you stick around to the end.
I understand the business model of one ghostwriter.
Right.
I'm trying to understand, how does that work on a larger scale?
Well, that's a great question. The first name of the company is business. Most of our clients are business people, are entrepreneurs, and there are tens of millions of businesses in the United States. Basically, we have a writing team of 8 writers. The writers do the interviewing. We have a chief creative officer who oversees their work. It's my job to bring in the work.
How much do you charge for that?
We charge anywhere between $35,000 and $75,000.
Does that include a run of the book?
Yes, that includes the printing of the book so that they've got actual physical books.
And how many copies of the hardcover book?
You get 50 to 100 copies of the book.
So how do you acquire new...
Okay, so that actually... 50 to 100 copies is not a lot. I mean, if we're they're hard copy books, so you're not going to get a ton of them, but the goal is to get it into distribution and Amazon and sold at maybe Barnes and Noble, if that's still a place. It's 5 to 10 years from now. I'm thinking it will be. They have a pretty solid college-based, program where they got the rights to the books and stuff, and as long as they're still printing books, Barnes and Noble is going to be just fine. I think 35,000 to 75,000 is not super unrealistic. I know some ghostwriters spend or cost, but some of my friends personally cost between 15 to 25,000 just for the ghostwriting. That doesn't include printing. That doesn't include I don't know. I assume that includes editing, but it might not include editing in that price. Getting and because you also need a layout designer, interior designer for the book to have them lay out how the pages are going to look and stuff like that. Now, when I wrote my 4 books, I did the writing and the layout. I had separate editors that cost, way less than that, $15,000, $20,000, $30,000 to go through the book and edit the books. So there's different approaches. To me, I had the time to do it. I wanted the challenge. I took the challenge on. I'd done 4 of them. And I've had a great time doing it. I have more in the tank. I want to write more books. Just it takes a lot of time. So this is definitely an opportunity for somebody who wants it done but can't necessarily devote the time to writing said book.
Customers, it's all referral business?
It's mostly referral business up to this point, yes. We're averaging about 2 books a month right now. Honestly, we're doing about 650 to 700,000 gross this year.
Mike, you've achieved what every writer never gets. Profitability. But I don't know if this is a leverageable business. I don't know if you can turn it into a $5 million a year business. You're basically selling vanity printing. In other words, I'm a guy, I want a book, I can't get a U.S. publisher to pick me up. I come to you, you bang on 100 copies, it costs me 35 grand.
Yeah.
I think Kevin's not doing a total justice to this. When you're talking about even at $35,000, and of course this was in season 3, this is episode 1 of Shark Tank, so it was like 2012 money, which isn't that far different from today. But depending on when you're watching this, because you went down below and got subscribed, of course, this, you can easily get to 5 million. I mean, you start talking about like, okay, if we get just enough people to get to 75,000, it doesn't take that many to get to 1 million, right? And then it doesn't take that many to get to 2 million and 3 million and 4 million and 5 million. 35,000 isn't that much in the grand scheme of things. If you really have a story that you want to tell, I think it's a great opportunity. And books, I think, are a great way to pass down the stories that to your family. It's more than just a marketing ploy. He's like, oh, I'm going to write my book and I'm going to go on the speaking, circuit and stuff like that. But not every person that they have is going to go and do that. Just like not every person that watches this video is going to leave me a comment down below, like Mr. Bear here, who says, yes, yeah, Linus, yes, free promo, yes. Sorry, I just wanted to get my LTT store water bottle promo in there, lttstore.com. And so if you have a question, if you have a comment about this video, or you have a suggestion for another video, please go down in the comments down below, like Mr. Bear here, and leave me a comment. And while you're down there, make sure you smash that like button for the YouTube algorithm so you can get this video in the hands of more super entrepreneurs like yourself.
I cringe a tiny bit on the inside when I hear the word vanity, but yes, we are making a marketing tool disguised as a book. We tell our clients, your income stream is not going to be revenue derived from the sale of the book. Use the book to build your business.
Why aren't you interested in the people who want to write about their dog and their friend and the story they had growing up? It may not necessarily be business related. Why are you staying away from that? Because then you open yourself up to a much bigger market.
Right.
Yeah, but it is a bigger market, but it's also a less profitable market, right? You're going after people who don't have $30,000 laying around to say, yeah, I want to write the book about my dog. If he could scale up, and this, you see this a lot, right? Like you look at Tesla, for example, right? They didn't come out with the Model 3 out of the gate. They started at the top end. They started with the Tesla Roadster, which was like super expensive, and then down to the Model S, and then down to the Model, was it the Model Y? Not the Model Y, the other one, the Model X. And then they came down to the Model 3 and eventually the Model Y. And so they went from like super high end and came down. Finally, they landed at a price point, and they're still trying to get that price point down. So I could see, Business Ghost going from that high end And then once they start to get a good feel for like, okay, this is how much we're kind of starting to peak out at how much revenue we can do. We're hitting so many books. If they don't have that customer base that's like, okay, we're hitting 8 books a month we're coming out with, or 10 books a month, or 20 books a month, or whatever the capacity for them to have quality writers and quality interviewers and all that stuff into the package, I could totally see them saying, okay, let's introduce like a $10,000 package where maybe you only get, 20 copies of your book out of the gate, or something to that effect, to kind of balance the revenue and spread it to a much wider audience.
Right, Damon. The first thing I want to say, Damon, is that I love your book, Display of Power.
I love the way you suck up.
You're next. Anyway,
You're good.
you like that?
As a schmoozer.
Where was I?
Well, why is you opening up to the masses?
It's about quality. It's about the integrity of the quality. I'm putting my name on every book. Not everybody in the country can afford a book. I cannot do a book at $10,000 and make money on it.
Mike, I've heard your business model. I understand it. But to scale this business, to take it public, to make it like for me to get back my $200,000, regardless of what percentage of the business I take, I see as a very difficult challenge. I don't see how I'm going to make any money here. I'm out.
So that's a fair point, right? Not being able to scale it right there. No, you're not going to. You need the high dollar figure to scale it. But I think as a proving ground, once you get to that plateau, you use the general public who wants to write a book for, $5,000 to $10,000, probably more like $7,500 to $10,000. You used that as a proving ground for your writers to get them to that next level, right? You use the high-end writers that you got as the support group for them, for your up-and-coming, writers, and not bog those people who are getting, $35,000 to $75,000, maybe even $100,000 by now, for as a package.
Well, in that case, I'm not going to schmooze you anymore. I like this guy. Yeah, the question about scalability is incredibly important. I truly believe that with somebody other than moi running the company,
To do what?
to give the business direction, I'm the classic example of the entrepreneur who has taken something as far as he can and has reached knucklehead status.
Michael, you can't offload the responsibility of coming up with the right strategy, and that's where it falls apart for me. The best salesman in your company, the guy who's responsible for a strategy, has to be you. I'm out.
Okay, I appreciate that. I still think that just about anybody on the planet could do a better job of running my business than I. Well, that's too self-deprecating.
No. Hold on, let's go back to that face palm.
That's too.
Oh God, no, Michael. That is, that may be true, right? But that's not something. So look, when I go and I work with small business owners and entrepreneurs, right? Like, I know that I'm not going to tell. Like, if I work with a baker, I'm not going to tell that baker how to be a better baker, right? They know how to bake. Can I show them how to give a better customer experience? Can I work with them to create a better experience for their team, their team that they've created? Can I work with them to create a better offer? Work on getting some of the pricing down, work on getting the systems, further optimized so that they're not, running, we have a cake to make. And like all of a sudden it's like running, around with your head cut off, like a chicken with its head cut off. So I don't know if that's still, is that a thing? Am I allowed to say that anymore? I don't know. But if I'm not, PETA, I apologize. It's, old habits are hard to break. So, coming up with those things is not what the sharks want to hear, especially when you're talking about $200,000 for 10%. You're bordering in the territory of asking them to come work for you, and he hasn't explained, or they haven't asked yet, what he's going to use that money for. I tend to think it would be marketing. Because while I believe he is a pretty good salesman, aside from the snafu he just made there, I think he knows what, like, he really knows what he's talking about when it comes to books. But when it comes to selling and relationships, I think he knows how to work a room a little bit. I think he's just being honest, and to me, coming from a place of honesty, I think is is powerful. But you're not asking for somebody to invest $35,000 for their own product in the sales process. You're asking somebody to give you $200,000 and take a journey with you, and you're admitting that you don't run the business, to a very good, to a very efficient or powerful degree.
I want to address that if I could. I found in the many years of experience I have, the minute someone running any business, large or small, starts talking about getting a CEO, it's code for I'm tired of my business, and what should really be happening is I should be going into a different business. So I'm out.
I think if I invested into this business, getting my money back will end up being a mystery book.
Oh, jeez.
I'm out.
Well stated.
That is a shame.
Punch to the gut. Okay. Mark, it's just the two of us.
There's a lot that I like about your business. And literally, you, right? You're a hustler.
And Mark's got plenty of access to sports figures and all that. So he has a built-in customer base, plus like anybody would take his call and want to be involved with Mark Cuban's, business ghostwriting company. So I'm curious if he's gonna make a deal here, but like probably want 20 or 25%.
Where I have significant problems is you didn't really address the specific changes in your industry. There's a real fundamental question as to whether or not people will even publish books going forward.
That's exactly right. I think the book itself, as a tool of disseminating information, sadly, is all but disappearing in society. And ironically, in an era when books are harder and harder to make money on, a business owner who has one of our books is going to stand out even more from the crowd because there's something so...
Oh, did you see that?
Stand out even more from the crowd because...
He caught his interest, and because he wasn't, at that point, he didn't just, go back to hammering the idea that a book is the thing. He articulated the idea that, books are, it's a type of business card, right? This is a business card. It has my picture on it, has the words, and it's got who it's, written by. Like, it's a type of business card, and I think that it's a next level kind of business card. If you've ever watched American Psycho, they love their business cards. The higher up you go, that might have, that movie's a little dated now, but writing a book just takes even if people don't actually read the book, it takes it to another level. Now, with that said, having the book be available on your iPad, Kindle, blah 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 device is a whole. It's available as well. Plus, for some of not every single one of them, but for a small subsection of these people, having that ability to go and market that book is going to end up being a source of revenue. It's going to be another stream of income for them for years to come. I mean, dare I say it? Donald Trump had his book written. I don't think he actually wrote the book. Maybe he did. I don't believe he did, though. But point being is that, that was in the 80s. I believe it was the 80s. And he, has held the book up and everything for literally decades now. So it's a powerful tool if you push it the right way.
There's something so wonderfully old school and significant about a book, and that is
the linchpin of the future of your business.
That's correct.
To me, that has the future potential of investing in a weightlifting snowman.
A weightlifting snowman.
You think about that. Now, if this was 1995, I probably would have invested. I'm out.
I just don't. Yeah, I don't agree. We're gonna check out his website in a minute here, see if he's still what he's up to now. And Michael, I'd love to have you come on the show and I'd love to have you do an interview.
Think about it, Barbara.
I did not get a deal today. It is very disappointing. It's gonna be tough to tell my kids, but the real thing is that I'm very, very passionate about what I do. Business Ghost will go forward, and I'll keep on telling people stories because that's what's in my heart to do.
Yeah. Well, I mean, telling people stories is powerful. So we go check out. BusinessGhost.com takes you to Michael's actual website. It looks like, I guess he didn't wind up scaling it or scaling past, and he ultimately decided to, I should make it full screen here. Ultimately, looks like he decided to make it all about him. Oh, he did Pat Summerall and Steve Morton. I don't think I've heard of him, but Pat Summerall is a broadcasting legend, and he absolutely is. One other thing about these kinds of services is, the business owners, the clients don't always want their name out there, right? That you wrote their book and all that. So it's very difficult. So the biggest names might not, or probably not even on here. But the numbers speak for themselves. 752 books written in 34 years of writing. So, I mean, if he's written, now assuming, I don't know if that's all those books were written as part of this business, this business model, but let's say 750 divided or times, say even just 30,000, right? That's $22.5 million. Ding, ding, ding. I haven't dinged the bell, but ding, ding. That if, I don't know how many books he wrote prior or before that or anything like that, but good for Michael getting this, keeping it going and living out his passion and his dream. I think it's so important that we as entrepreneurs, look, they say, chase the money, not the passion. And some people say chase the passion and not the money. It can work both ways, and I think when you can marry the two, that's when you'll ultimately be the happiest. I think Michael probably learned a lot from that experience. I would think, again, Michael, I'd love to have you come here on the Super Joe Pardo Show and give an interview about your Shark Tank experience. But I really love the fact that he didn't get the deal that he was looking for. I kind of tend to think that maybe part of that was because he was going in, and they didn't say this, and maybe it was cut out, but I tend to think like you're going in there with a $2 million valuation with $650,000 to $750,000 in sales for that. I don't know if it was just that year or to date, but that really brings a lot to. I think he was just asking for a little too much there. If he had come in probably at 100,000 for 10 or 15%, and been like, look, let's take this journey, let's take it to the next level, I think maybe he would have gotten what he was looking for. Maybe, but I don't know. Again, Michael, I'd love to have you come on the show. Just like I'd love to have you write a comment down below, questions that you have. What kind of business struggles are you going through right now? How can I help you? I want to do some Q&A videos coming up here in the near future. So drop it down below. Make sure you smash that like button for the YouTube hour so you get this video in the hands of some more super entrepreneurs like yourself. I hope you have an amazing day and watch one of these videos right here or right here. And I will see you in that next video. Take care.